What's up, everybody? This is Danny Mathematics here to explore another example. And today, guys, I want to go over example 2 of how to solve rational equations, okay? And basically, guys, we just have this equation and we have x, right? X is the unknown value that we're trying to find out in order to make this whole equation true. So x is a specific value that makes this whole equation true. And then we're going to actually figure that out, right? By solving for x. Now, remember, guys, these expressions are represented as fractions, right? Whenever you add fractions or subtract fractions, they have to have the same denominator, right? So the denominator of this fraction of 4 over x is x, and the denominator of this fraction, which is 8 over x plus 2, is x plus 2, right? 4 is a whole number, right? Which it will be 4 over 1, but we don't even have to worry about that, right? Because 4 is a whole number, right? So once again, guys, we got to find out what is the LCD, or the least common denominator, between these two denominators, right? And all we have to do, guys, is just multiply those two denominators together, right? Without multiplying. We're just going to set it up as if we were multiplying them together. So the LCD, or the least common denominator, is going to be x, or parentheses x, which is the first denominator, times x plus 2, which is the second denominator, okay? 4 is 4 over 1 as a fraction, but 1, we don't need 1 as a denominator, right? Because 1 times anything is going to still equal that same amount, okay? So, for example, guys, once again, we have this denominator, which is x, and this denominator, which is x plus 2. So the LCD is parentheses x times parentheses x plus 2. So this is the LCD. So what we need to do is, guys, we need to multiply each fraction and value by the LCD. Okay, so we're going to multiply this fraction by the LCD, we're going to multiply this fraction by the LCD, and we're going to multiply the answer 4 by the LCD. So let's go ahead and do that, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to have parentheses x times parentheses x plus 2.
Attention staff and students, that concludes our security
Times
drill.
4
Again, that was a security
over
drill.
x.
During a security drill, everyone gets inside. We lock outside doors.
Plus
Students are returned inside of the building.
the same thing. We're going to multiply this fraction by this
You
LCD.
bring everyone in the
Parentheses
building.
x
You lock the outside
times
doors.
parentheses
You
x
make your
plus
situational
2.
awareness and account for students and do business as usual. Thank you and have a great day.
Okay? And I'm sorry about that, guys. That was an announcement from the administration on my campus. Okay? So once again, guys, the LCD is parentheses x times parentheses x plus 2. And we're just multiplying each part of the equation by that LCD. So it's going to be x, parentheses x times parentheses x plus 2 times 8 over x plus 2. Okay? Equals, and the same thing for the answer. We got to multiply the answer by the LCD. Okay? Equals parentheses x times parentheses x plus 2 times the answer of 4, right? Times 4. So that's what we should have, guys. Now, if you notice, guys, especially in with these two fractions, right? If you notice, there's x and we have a denominator of x, right? So x divided by x is just 1. So we can actually cross out this x of the LCD by this denominator of x, okay? This fraction has a denominator of x plus 2, and x plus 2 is part of the LCD. So x plus 2 divided by x plus 2 is this 1, so we can just cross that out, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to combine everything else that we have, okay? So over here, we still have x plus, parentheses, x plus 2 times 4, right? We can actually just go ahead and factor that out, right? So we're going to have 4 times x, which is 4x. And I'm going to actually write the x's in blue again. So 4 times x, which is 4x, right? Plus 4 times 2, which is 8. All right? So once again, parentheses x plus 2, parentheses closed times 4 equals 4x plus 8. Okay? Here I only have x and I only have 8. So if I multiply x with 8, we're going to get plus 8x. Okay? So once again, this came from here. All of this came from there. All right? Equals. Okay? Now, on this side, guys, we can just actually kind of do everything on the outside. Once again, I have x times x, which is x squared, parentheses, and I have x times 2, which is 2x. But I still have this times 4, right? So we still have to distribute, okay? So once again, guys, 4 times x squared is 4x squared. And then 4 times 2x is 8x. So it's going to be a plus 8x. All right? So far, guys, that's what we should have. That's what we should have, okay? So now, guys, what we want to do is we want to see if we can combine like terms. So let's try to combine like terms. So 4x and 8x are both like terms, so we can add those together, right? So 4x plus 8x equals 12x. So I'm going to have 12x plus 8 on the left side of the equal sign. Okay? Equals, these are not like terms, so they just come down as the same, right? 4x squared, right? Plus 8x. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we need to do is, guys, we need to move everything on one side, okay? So since the highest degree, which is x squared or 4x squared, right? Since it's on the right side, we're going to move everything on the right side, okay? So in order to move 12x to the right, I have to subtract 12x. And I have to subtract it from a like term, which is 8x. So it's going to be 8x minus 12x. And then over here, guys, the opposite of 8 is a negative 8, which is minus 8. And then there's no like terms over here, so I'm just going to just put minus 8 out here. Okay? And of course, that crosses out. So now, guys, we're going to have 0, which that's what we want. 0 equals 4x squared. 8x minus 12x equals negative 4x. So I'm going to put a negative 4x, right? Minus 8. Okay? So, this is what we have, guys. I'm actually going to move it. Well, this is what we have. This is not the final answer, but this is the polynomial, right, that we're going to use in order for us to find x. Now, guys, whenever you have a polynomial, right, that is to the highest degree of 2, whenever you have a polynomial, guys, or an equation that's to the highest degree of 2, right, that's the highest degree, then that means for us to find out x, we can use the quadratic formula, okay? Because the highest degree or the highest power is 2, we're going to use the quadratic formula, okay? We're going to use the quadratic formula, and we're going to actually move over here. I'm going to write out the quadratic formula. Okay, guys, so the quadratic formula, which I know most people learn this formula in algebra, quadratic formula, okay, equals x equals, okay, and I'm going to use different colors, right? Equals negative b plus or minus the square root of positive b squared minus 4 times A times C. All divided by 2 times A. So once again, guys, this is the quadratic formula, okay? This is the quadratic formula. And remember, guys, we have the polynomial or the equation of 4x squared minus 4x minus 8. This is what we have, right? Now, A, B, and C are the coefficients or the constants within the equation, right? So A is always the coefficient that's attached to x to the second power. So 4 is A, okay? B is the coefficient attached to the x to the first power. So B is 4, it's negative 4 actually, all right? So let me actually write this on the side. So A is 4, B is negative 4. Now, if B is negative 4, guys, then that means that negative B is positive 4, which is the opposite, right? And then C, guys, C for constant, the only constant we have is negative 8. So C is going to equal negative 8. And all we're going to do, guys, is just plug those particular values, right? These particular values inside of the quadratic formula to find out the possible values of x that will make this rational equation true. All right, so let's go ahead and do that, guys. So I'm just following the equation. It says x equals negative b. Negative b is a positive 4. So it's going to be positive 4 plus or minus the square root of b. B is negative 4. So it's going to be the square root of negative 4 squared, because that's b squared, right? Negative 4 squared minus 4 times 8. A is 4. So negative 4 times 4 times C. And C is negative 8. So I'm going to plug in negative 8 as C. All divided by 2 times A. And 2 times A is 2 times 4. All right, and guys, we know that 2 times 4 is 8, so you can go ahead and just put 8. We know that 2 times 4 is 8, right? So now, guys, let's just go ahead and solve this quickly, okay? Negative 4 squared equals a positive 16, okay? Negative 4 times a positive 4 is negative 16, and then negative 16 times a negative 8 is going to be, let me get my calculator. All right, negative 16 times negative 8 is a positive 128. So inside, guys, it's going to turn into 16 plus 128. All right, the square root of 16 plus 128. Okay, and then 16 plus 128 equals 144. So we can rewrite this as this, guys. 4 plus or minus the square root of 144, right? Because 16 plus 128 equals 144, all divided by, and remember, guys, 2 times 4 is 8. That's why I put 8 there. So all divided by 8. Okay? Now, guys, we need to square root 144. The square root of 144 is 12, as we all know, right? The square root of 144 is 12, so now we're going to have 4 plus or minus 12, all divided by 8, right? So these two answers will be the answers that x can be in order to make this equation or this rational equation true, okay? So the first x, guys, x equals, and actually let me make x be blue because that was the color I was using for x. Okay, x equals, and then we're going to do 4 plus 12. We're going to do 4 plus 12. So 4 plus 12 divided by 8. So 4 plus 12 divided by 8. And let me make this be a red 8. 4 plus 12 divided by 8. Okay, 4 plus 12 is 16. 16 divided by 8 is 2. So x equals 2 is one of our answers. Okay, and then also if we did x equals 4 minus 12, right? 4 minus 12. 4 minus 12. All divided by 8, right? Now, 4 minus 12 is actually negative 8. 4 minus 12 is actually negative 8, and negative 8 divided by a positive 8 is a negative 1. Okay? So, the possible values of x is x can equal 2 and x can equal negative 1 in order for this particular equation to be true. So x can equal 2 and x can equal negative 1. Okay? And guys, I just want to use one of these to try to show you how this actually works, right? So if x was 2, right? If we plugged in 2, all of this needs to equal 4, right? So let's just act like x is 2, right? Because we know that's one of the possible values it could be, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Plus, okay, if I plugged in 2 right here, 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that's how you know, guys, that is one of the values that x could be in order to make this particular rational equation true. So once again, guys, this is our final answer. These are the two possible values x could be in order to make this rational equation true. X can equal 2 and x can equal negative 1. Thank y'all so much, guys, for tuning in. I will come out with a few more examples covering rational equations and applications.